Ina mana, ina reo, ina iwi te mutu, ina iwi na hoi wha, tēnā koutou katoa. Namaste, good afternoon. It's a real privilege as Chief Executive of Whitireia Welltech to be here to speak with you today about skills training in New Zealand. I want to acknowledge the High Commissioner, Secretary General of FICI, the representatives from FICI and representatives on the delegation from India. It's a real honour for us to have you here, and we really appreciate the effort and time that you've put to come and visit our country and attend this summit. Like other speakers, I want to acknowledge the passing of Wenceslas Anthony. I had the privilege of joining with the then Prime Minister John Key in travelling to India last year with Wenceslas, and Wenceslas and I met with FICI at that time to discuss this summit here today, and it's a great sadness that he's not here to see the realisation of those discussions. First, a summary of skills training in this country. This is centred on two sectors which work very closely together. Each broad industry group in New Zealand has its own industry training organisation, which is responsible for coordinating training in the workplace. ITOs work very closely with Institutes of Technology, or ITPs, which are government institutions providing vocational and professional education and training both for those in the workplace and those in full-time study, such as school leavers. There's a network of 16 ITPs across New Zealand. Institutes of Technology play a very significant role in the New Zealand economy. We contribute to a highly skilled and employable workforce. We help to make business productive, and we support the development of greater individual and social well-being. A summary here of the particular roles that we play. We have a very wide range of study options. We're work-focused, practical, applied vocational education, and we work very closely in with industry and business and employers. We teach both generic skills and specialised technical skills. We have strong partnerships with our local communities. We are engaged in research, and it's somewhat unusual for vocational institutions to be as involved in research as New Zealand ITPs are, but we see that as being a core part of our function to work with business in applied research. And we have a very international and global education focus. A special characteristic of skills training in New Zealand is the way in which ITPs combine practical and academic learning to ensure that graduates have the skills needed for today and prepared for the future. There's been a lot of discussion today already about how do we equip people with the skills they need, not just for tomorrow, but for 10 years' time. We train automotive engineers in the internal combustion engine, knowing full well that in 10 to 15 years there may well be no internal combustion engines. How do we make sure that those students are ready for work tomorrow but are also capable of coping with the change? And we do that by making sure that our teaching methodologies inspire problem solving, innovation, teamwork and communication. Key factors for us in providing a highly skilled workforce include strong alignment with industry and employers and their needs, and modern teaching and learning methodologies. And given the focus of this summit on education technology, it's worth noting that the ITP sector in New Zealand is in the vanguard of the use of educational technology in our teaching practice. Initiatives include the use of simulation environments to create real world of work environments, whether that be computer-controlled lifelike mannequin patients in a simulated hospital or a simulation ship's bridge for training ship crew. The use of flipped classrooms, where theory content is delivered online so that the valuable classroom or workshop time can be spent on applying theory, practical work and discussion. We use e-learning platforms to enable distance learning and to study at flexible hours. The three particular strengths within the ITP system within New Zealand. Firstly, all ITPs in New Zealand are subject to government accreditation and quality assurance systems. That means that each institution is regularly evaluated by the New Zealand Qualifications Authority against a range of criteria to ensure that their operations are of a high standard. In addition, all study programs delivered by ITPs must first be accredited by the Qualifications Authority and are subject to regular monitoring and evaluation. New Zealand is relatively unusual in that vocational training and qualifications are included along with higher education qualifications in a single national qualifications framework. So that means that in addition to diplomas, ITPs offered professional and vocational degrees and postgraduate qualifications which are accredited and approved in exactly the same way and to the same standard as university qualifications. The second strength of the New Zealand professional and vocational education system is that our qualifications are developed in close association with industry groups. At certificate and diploma level, industry groups and employers are directly involved in specifying the content and the nature and structure of our qualifications. At degree and diploma levels, ITPs work closely with professional bodies, for example the Institute of Professional Engineers, to ensure that the content of our programs are relevant for industry and employers. ITPs are proudly applied learning institutions, and so an element of internship, business projects or other work experience is included in many of our programs. Thirdly, we recognise that the quality of our teachers is key to our students' success. We set out to ensure that our teachers are triple trained. Depending on the discipline, we try to ensure that our teachers have a qualification in their discipline area, they have direct industry experience in their subject matter, and they have a qualification in adult teaching. This combination of practical, academic and teaching skills creates a highly effective teachers. I mentioned before that there are 16 ITPs across New Zealand, and I have the privilege of being in the unique position of being Chief Executive of two of those institutions, Whitireia New Zealand and the Wellington Institute of Technology. Some years ago, the decision was made that it made more sense for our two institutions, both based in the capital city, Wellington, to collaborate rather than compete with each other. So now we provide wider choices for our students and gain efficiencies through sharing of resources such as IT. Although based in Wellington, we also have a significant campus here in Auckland and other sites around New Zealand. Like the ITP sector generally, we offer a very wide variety of programs from certificate level through to master's degrees in business, IT and professional practice. We cover a wide variety of subjects from automotive engineering to veterinary nursing, but have particular strengths in areas such as engineering, business, IT, early childhood education, nursing, social services, paramedicine and the creative arts. In 2018, we'll be opening an exciting new campus in the heart of Wellington City, the creative capital, which will bring together the full range of creative disciplines including filmmaking, digital design and performance. Many of you will be aware that Wellington is an important centre for film and special effects, with the Lord of the Rings and Avatar movies being made there. We are confident that our new creative campus will attract students from all around the world. International students have been an important part of ITP provision in New Zealand for many years, and this is particularly true for Welltech and Whitireia. About 20% of our students are international students. We recognise the benefit that international students bring to our classrooms and our workshops. We recognise that New Zealand is a long way from the rest of the world, and it's important that our New Zealand students are exposed to the new ideas and connections which international students bring. We also believe that international students enrich the communities they live in while they're here in New Zealand. While I hope and believe that students from India will continue to be an important part of ITP education in New Zealand, I also believe that the time has come to embrace the much larger range of opportunities to build partnerships between New Zealand and India in the field of skills training. It's time to explore and develop deeper partnerships between New Zealand ITPs and Indian institutions, both vocational institutions and Indian businesses. New Zealand's ITP sector can support the dramatic growth of the Indian economy and the upskilling of the Indian workforce through opportunities like training of vocational teachers, staff exchanges, supporting curriculum development, consultancy arrangements in specialist areas, and study pathways through 2+1 arrangements and similar. New Zealand ITPs have many such partnership arrangements around the world, but yet few with the great nation of India. There are enormous opportunities to explore and develop. It's been my privilege to speak briefly with you this afternoon on skills training in New Zealand, and specifically the roles of institutes of technology. I look forward to further discussion today, and I thank you very much for your time and attention at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.